While several major television networks, magazines, and news journals have reported on the Y2K issue, most people have failed to grasp the enormity of the problem.
Then the kingdom of heaven shall be likened to 10 virgins who took their lamps and went out to meet the bridegroom. Now 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish. Those who were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. But while the bridegroom was delayed, they all slumbered and slept.
Embedded chips are microprocessors or small computers. At least 2% of all these computer chips have the Y2K virus. 2% is a substantial number when one considers that there are literally billions of chips out there. These chips are embedded in isolated devices such as cell phones, gas pumps, elevators, traffic signals, satellites, plant maintenance systems, tanks, hospital monitoring systems, and deep-sea applications, just to name a few.
Unlike mainframe, mid-range, and desktop computers, whose information and date fields can be modified, upgraded, and rewritten, microprocessing units are burned in. They're static. They cannot be modified. They have to be replaced.
And at midnight a cry was heard, Behold, the bridegroom is coming, go out to meet him.
There are over 25 billion microprocessing embedded chips in the technologies that you've just seen. To find and replace all of these chips in the amount of time that we have left is a logistical nightmare. Compounding that fact is that the cost involved in replacing these chips is over $2 trillion. As the cracks grow and the fissures increase, high-ranking government officials are beginning to get nervous about the Y2K problem.
And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and those who were ready went in with him to the wedding, and the door was shut.
In a recent USA Today newspaper, Alan Greenspan, chairman of the Federal Reserve System, made an alarming statement.
Let us be glad and rejoice and give him glory, for the marriage of the Lamb has come, and his wife has made herself ready. And to her it was granted to be arrayed in fine linen, clean and bright, for the fine linen is the righteous acts of the saints.
Alan Greenspan warned of year 2000 glitch. Washington. Federal Reserve Chairman Alan Greenspan said Wednesday that the year 2000 computer bug is already hurting the economy and warned of bigger damage ahead. Inevitable difficulties are going to emerge, he said. You could end up with a very large problem.
Afterward the other virgins came also, saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. But he answered and said, Assuredly I say to you, I do not know you.
He said the Fed was ready to lend banks tens of billions of dollars if the bug causes their computers to break down in the year 2000 and they can't make payments.
Those who were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps.
There are other high-ranking officials that have become nervous as well. President Clinton has just issued special executive orders for a year 2000 council.
On February 24, 1998, President Bill Clinton made this startling announcement in special executive orders. Here is an excerpt from those orders. Minimizing the Y2K problem will require a major technological and managerial effort, and it is critical that the United States government do its part in addressing this challenge.
Who then is a faithful and wise servant, whom his master made ruler over his household to give them food in due season? Blessed is that servant whom his master, when he comes, will find so doing.
Just days after President Clinton issued his executive orders on the year 2000 commission, Arthur Gross quit his position with the IRS.
Is it merely a coincidence that the Department of Defense's acting Secretary for Command, Control, Communications, and Intelligence, who was in charge of the Y2K repairs along with 2 other key officials, also resigned their post?
Thankfully, one of our most revered Christian personalities is beginning to voice his concern over the Y2K problem.
But now there is something coming. It's coming in your life. It's coming in my life. We cannot escape it. It's called, or at least many are calling it, the Millennium Computer Bug. Stock markets, for example, I've heard you talk about what would happen in the stock markets if suddenly the computers that they rely on so heavily, and the banks don't show that you have anything in your account, or so much of what you believe is your assets vanish.
Then Jesus spoke to the multitudes and to his disciples, saying, The scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. Therefore whatever they tell you to observe, that observe and do, but do not do according to their works, for they say and do not do.
The rabbis looked at 1,000 years as a prophetic day, like days in a week. 6,000 years to them represented 6 prophetic days. The seventh 1,000 years, or the prophetic day of rest, completed a prophetic week. According to the Old Testament, from the time of Adam until the birth of Christ, there was 4,000 years, or 4 prophetic days. From Christ until the present, almost 2,000 years, or 2 prophetic days.
For as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is dead also.
The last 2,000 years have been the last 2 days of the prophetic week, or what some refer to as the last days. As we approach the end of the millennium, the year 2000, is it irony, coincidence, or the rabbi's prophecy coming to pass that after some 6,000 years of human history, that mankind's greatest technological accomplishment, the computer, would bring it all down a moment of time?
And he who does not take his cross and follow after me is not worthy of me. He who finds his life will lose it, and he who loses his life for my sake will find it.